One thing that they say a lot, especially in like the Dundee, Montrose area, they say I ken, which means like I know. Like, I ken. Do you ken? You ken? And it just means like, are you aware? Do you know? And in Ireland they say like, what's the crack? Like, what's the news? And that's kind of cool. But one cool thing, actually something that's really funny, is in Scotland there is another language. It's Gaelic. And some people do speak it. Not everybody. Like, everybody who speaks it like speaks English as well. But there was this elder several years ago. I do not know his name. But if you want references, I can definitely point you in the right direction because I know the members who were involved in this prank. It's quite funny. There was an elder who came into the mission, and he gets to the mission home, and his trainer is going to be taking him up to the islands. And the islands, everybody, well, most everybody, has a pretty good handle on Gaelic. And so, as they're flying up there, the trainer's like, hey, so did they teach you Gaelic in the MTC? And the poor little trainee, no, they didn't. Am I supposed to know it? And he's like, yeah, you're supposed to know it. Like, you're supposed to be pretty good. Can you bear your testimony in it? Like, say a prayer in it? And he's like, no, I can't. I don't know any of it. And he was stressing. He's like, well, we're gonna have a lesson. We're teaching the restoration when we first get there, and this is an investigator. I believe he's golden. The trainer was like, you can't mess this up. Like, this is an important lesson. And the little trainee's like, oh my gosh, like, okay, like, I'm gonna really pray and really hope that everything turns out okay. And they got there, and they had this group of members. The trainer had a group of members, like, specifically one of the guys in the ward who spoke Gaelic very well. And he was gonna pretend that the trainer could speak Gaelic. The trainer was just speaking gibberish. But this member was actually speaking Gaelic. And they were talking back and forth, and it was like a really, really in-depth lesson. And this poor little elder is just sitting outside like, oh my goodness, like, what did I get into? Like, I didn't know this was a foreign language mission. And it turns out, like, they eventually told him because he started getting a little bit upset. But they told him, and it turned out to be something that everybody got a few laughs out of. And it was great. So that's one of the stories the members told us up there about, like, the language and language barriers. So they mainly just spoke English. Like, they taught us how to say cheers. So you say cheers shlangeva, and that's Gaelic for cheers. Like, raise your glasses to the sky, you know? So that's the only real Gaelic word I know.